Alright, CNT125, Chapter 12, Layer 1 WAN Technologies. We're looking at Metro Ethernet. Metro Ethernet, a lot of ISPs are now developing in ways to send Ethernet traffic across WAN to MAN connections. So not just LANs anymore. Actually taking our LAN Ethernet traffic and moving it across MANs and WANs, if you will. This was first standardized by the MEF, Metro Ethernet Forum. That was an alliance of over 220 industry organizations worldwide. So it tells you the interest in a lot of your organizations saying, hey, this would be ideal to move our Ethernet traffic from our LAN to our MAN, etc. Not having to do some sort of translation kind of thing. In metro settings, end-to-end carrier-grade Ethernet networks can be established via CET, Carrier Ethernet Transport. Ethernet-based transport solution designed to overcome weaknesses of implementing Ethernet outside the LAN. If you think back across time, Ethernet was pretty much a LAN thing, and I translated that into some WAN technology to go from A to B. Metro Ethernet is the idea of like, hey, let's figure out a way to get that Ethernet traffic from my LAN to my WAN connection back to another Ethernet LAN. Carrier Ethernet spans both Layer 1 and Layer 2 of OSI, which makes sense because Ethernet in itself is a Layer 1, Layer 2. Layer 2 Ethernet frames, CSMACD kind of thing, and our connection to a cable. So that kind of makes some sense. Your traditional Ethernet is using STP blocking redundant paths, that sort of thing. It's also forwarding frames based on MAC address. So the MAC address of a specific node, that's where it's going to forward it to. CET, Carrier Ethernet, is going to add a transport label to the frame for forwarding purposes and also for establishing a virtual path or virtual tunnel. And that's used for getting from A to B, if you will. We said just a minute ago, STP blocks certain paths to limit potential pathways. Meanwhile, CET, Carrier Ethernet, is going to predetermine a path and tag it so that frame follows that path that's been laid out. And I think the book uses this picture to kind of get you thinking a path is laid out. So now those frames are going to get tagged as to following this path through the network, that virtual circuit, if you will, through the network. Metro Ethernet has a handful of advantages. Streamlined connections, yeah, your Ethernet LAN is going into an Ethernet WAN connection. There isn't that need to do massive translation. Cost efficiency, it's going to provide higher bandwidth at a lower cost than T-carriers and other T-carrier type technologies, Sonnet, that sort of thing. 10 gig available with 100 gig in the works, so significant bandwidth links. It's scalable, much more easily scaled in finer increments than other high bandwidth technologies. Familiarity, yeah, I mean, we already know Ethernet, so Ethernet and WAN might be a little bit different, but it's not going to be a lot different. So familiarity between the two. And hardware, there's already a lot of Ethernet hardware out there, so the cost to buy it would be a lot less. Buying, upgrade, maintaining, that sort of thing. All right, we'll come back to the next one, talk T-carriers.